So the same section of material, this is on dividing rational expressions. Same idea as multiplication, we're going to follow the same steps. There's only one thing we do differently, and that is to flip the second expression first. So you flip first. That's what I want you to remember. Flip first. You flip the second expression first, and then follow these steps for multiplying. So you flip the second expression first, just like when you divide fractions, you always flip and multiply. So we're going to do the same thing. Flip the second expression and then follow the steps for multiplication. The problem is a lot of students will flip at the end, and we don't want to flip at the end. We want to flip first, then follow the multiplication steps. So I'm just going to do a few examples of this one. If I have 6x plus 2 over x squared minus 1 divided by, and you'll see the little division symbol, divided by 3x squared plus x over x minus 1. As soon as you see the division symbol, before you think about or start to do anything, as soon as you see that division symbol, you keep, change, change. Or keep, change, flip is what one of my students called it. Keep, change, flip. So you're going to keep the first expression exactly as it is. Don't try to GCF or factor yet. Then change the division symbol to multiplication, and then flip the second fraction completely. So we're going to put x minus 1 on the top, 3x squared plus x on the bottom. So don't do anything else before you flip. Flip that second expression first. Now we will look at the first top and bottom, the second one top and bottom. We have to flip before we start factoring and GCFing. Alright, so now I've got 6x plus 2. There's a GCF of 2. That leaves 3x plus 1 over x squared minus 1 is a difference of squares. So x plus 1, x minus 1 times x minus 1 just stays. I would leave it in parentheses. 3x squared plus x has a GCF of x, and that leaves 3x plus 1. So we did GCF, we did another GCF, we did difference of squares, and now we get to cross stuff out. Alright, so 3x plus 1 and 3x plus 1 cancel out. X minus 1 and x minus 1 cancel out. That leaves a 2 on top, an x plus 1 on the bottom, and an x. And the way they prefer that to be written, I'm just going to keep that bar going, is 2. They like the x first, the single term first, and then the x plus 1. So just put that x in front as your final answer. That's the mathematically proper way to write that. So again, it's the same thing as multiplication, just flip first. I'll give you another one to try. So example 2, we've got 10x minus 2 over x squared minus 9 divided by 5x squared plus x over x plus 3. Go ahead and pause the video, try this one, see how you do, and then play back to see how you measured up. So as soon as I see that division symbol, I'm going to keep, change, flip. So it's 10x minus 2, nothing changes here. Change that division symbol to multiplication and then flip the second fraction. X plus 3 on top, 5x squared plus x on the bottom. So flip first. Now we're going to look at each part. 10x minus 2 has a GCF of 2. That leaves 5x minus 1. X squared minus 9 is the difference of squares. X plus 3, x minus 3. The x plus 3 on the top of the second one, we're just going to leave in parentheses x plus 3. And then 5x squared plus x has a GCF of x. And then we have 5x, just 5x plus 1. Then we get to cross stuff out. Let's see, we got 5x minus 1 on top, 5x plus 1 on the bottom. So watch your signs there. I almost crossed those out. Then we've got x plus 3 and x plus 3. And cross those out for sure. The signs have to match. That might be it. Yep. That's okay. 2 times 5x minus 1 on the top. Then we're going to have x out front, so put this x out front. Then it doesn't matter which order after that. X minus 3, 5x plus 1. So it's very tempting to cross those out, but one has a plus and one has a minus. So sometimes your answer is still pretty involved. And you don't have to multiply or FOIL any of that back together. Just leave it all separate. All right, let's try a couple more. All right, so example 3. 2x squared minus 11x plus 5 over 5x minus 25 divided by 4x minus 2 over 10. If you'd like to try this one, just pause the video. I see that division, so I'm going to keep change flip. 2x squared minus 11x plus 5 over 5x minus 25 times, I'm going to flip it, 10 on top, 4x minus 2 on the bottom. Then I'm going to take it one piece at a time. So here I've got a trinomial. I need to factor that with ABC. Remember to work this off to the side. I'm going to work it up over here. So CAB will be 10 and negative 11, which is negative 10 and negative 1. 2x squared minus 10x minus x plus 5. Do my grouping real quick. Alright, so still took up too much space here. That top factors into 2x minus 1 times x minus 5. The bottom of this one has a GCF of 5, and that leaves x minus 5. Top of that one's just 10. And then 4x minus 2 has a GCF of 2, and that's 2x minus 1. You have to cross stuff out. 2x minus 1's cancel. The x minus 5's divide off. We have 10 left on top, and then 5 times 2, which is 10 left on the bottom. 10 divided by 10 is 1. So this whole thing just reduced to 1. It's pretty crazy. That happens sometimes. Everything cancels out. Alright, one more of these monsters. Example 4. 3x squared minus 11x minus 4 over 2x minus 8 divided by 9x plus 3 over 6. Again, I would pause the video, see if you can work it out, and then play back the video to see how you did. So you want to look in the middle, look for that division sign. Once you see the division sign, we're going to keep change flip. So we have 3x squared minus 11x minus 4 over 2x minus 8. Nothing changes there. I'm going to change the division to multiplication. And then flip the second expression. Now I can do all my GCF and factoring work. So we've got a trinomial here. We're going to have to factor this with a, b, and c quickly off to the side. It's negative 12 and negative 11. Negative 12 and positive 1. 3x squared minus 12x plus x minus 4. So you just go through your whole procedure for factoring trinomials. And remember, we want to be good at this. Don't be fast at this, but we want to be good at this. I know I'm going really fast, but you just want to get it right. So that top trinomial factors into 3x plus 1, x minus 4. The bottom has a GCF of 2, and that leaves x minus 4. The top is just a 6. The bottom has a GCF of 3, and that's 3x plus 1. And my favorite part, those cross out, those cross out. You're left with 6 over 2 times 3, which is also 6, and that also reduces to 1. That does happen a lot if you do it right. Not all the time, but it does happen a lot. So that is dividing rational expressions. Same idea as multiplication, just remember to flip. So keep, change, flip, and then work it out, just like multiplication.